Today is 18th November 2013. My name is Han Tao, and this interview is for the Ming-ai London Institute, British Chinese Workforce Heritage Project. Could I begin by asking your name?
Yeah, okay. My name is Kaicun Zhao. Yeah.
Could you spell it for me, please?
The first name is Kaicun. Family name is Zhao. Yeah.
And where were you born?
Beijing.
Could you tell me a little bit about your family?
Okay. So my own family is I've got 3 people in my family. My wife and I got a boy, but he's already grown up now. He's working in Switzerland. He's working in a pharmaceutical company, and so only me and my wife stay in the home. Yeah.
And also about your parents and brother sister.
Actually, my parents already passed away several years ago, and so my parents only got me. I haven't got any brother or sisters. My parents implement the policy much earlier than the government. Okay.
And what work did your parents do before?
My parents just stayed in Beijing before. They just work in the that's actually a factory. It's I don't know how to say. I don't know how to translate. The factories, they make the wood product. That's for different kind of purpose. Yeah.
Okay, so the both work there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And what education did you have?
Me.
Yeah.
I did my first degree in Beijing University of Chinese Medicine, and then from there I did my master degree in Peking Union Medical College. They call it 协和医学院. And then I came here and I did my PhD in Imperial College. That's a medical school. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some questions about your life as a practitioner. So when did you come to the UK?
I came to the UK in 1988, I think. Yeah, 88.
And how were you able to come to the UK?
At that time, you mean?
Yeah.
In 1988, actually, at that time I got a scholarship. I came from, since I finished my master degree in 协和 Medical School, I stayed there, I worked there, so I came to the UK from 协和 Medical School, and at that time I got a scholarship from the Royal Society of Medicine. Not medicine, that's just the Royal Society. That's actually, when the Queen visited China, they offered 30 scholarships. I got one of them and came to this country at that time. That's a long time ago.
And what jobs you did before you work in the traditional Chinese medicine?
Before that, actually, since I graduated from my secondary school, all my life I worked in the Chinese medicine area. Even before I went to the Beijing University of Chinese Medicine, before that, actually, I went to a college they call traditional Chinese medicine. So since I finished my secondary school, all the time I worked in this area. Yeah.
And what motivated you to work in TCM?
Originally, you mean? When I finished my secondary school, at that time, still the Cultural Revolution time. At that time, actually, no choice. The government sent me to the traditional Chinese medicine college, and then I started the profession. It's not really related to anything. Just you finish the secondary school and then the government say, okay, you go this, you go there, and then you just start the profession.
And how did you feel about it?
Oh, it's, once you learn that and you like it and you get familiar. Of course, everybody, as a Chinese, everybody knows Chinese medicine. So I use a lot of Chinese medicine when I was young, when I was a children, because my parents took me to the Chinese medicine doctors. But actually, I never thought I would learn Chinese medicine at that time. But anyway, when I finished the secondary school, and the government say, okay, you go to the Chinese medicine college to learn that. And I just went to there, and when you learn that and you find it interesting, and then start the things.
Then, what kind of personal qualifications do you have in traditional Chinese medicine?
Apart from we'll say at that time, that's still the Cultural Revolution time. That's something like I don't know how to translate. That's a specialist certificate in Chinese medicine. And I think that my formal Chinese medicine qualification is from Beijing University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, but specialized in the Chinese herbal medicine.
And when and where you started to be a TCM practitioner?
That's actually before I went to the university. At that time, I learned the Chinese medicine and also started practice in a kind of clinic, not really big hospital at that time. But later, I prefer to learn the medicines, whatever Western medicine or the herbal medicines. So later, I went to the Beijing University Chinese medicine. So I studied especially on the Chinese herbal medicine. Yeah. So that's from that time. Actually, when I finished the university studies, I went to the Herbal Medical School. So actually, I spent most of the time on the clinical pharmacology research on that. Actually, it's a lot of practice. Actually, I practiced in this country. When I came to here, I got more clinical practice than in China. China, I think, did more research in the hospitals, in the labs. Yeah.
And do you still remember the first practice you did in this country?
First?
Yeah.
I can't remember especially the case. It was just the patients. I think that's probably. I'm not really sure. That's the first one. That's the menopause case, and that's quite clearly. I remember. Anyway, that's the very early clinical case I met in this country. I remember this old English ladies. I'm not really sure that's the first one. Anyway, the first couple of ones. Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
And the lady, she was comfortable, and what kind of treatment?
Yeah, at that time, that's it used the herb. At that time, still the herb is still very popular. I think that's in the early 90s, 92, 93, something like that. So, not like now. Now it seems a lot of people very cautious to take herbal medicine. At that time, the herbal medicine was very popular. So I used the herbs to treat that case, and I still remember that. Yeah.
And so, according to your experience, what kind of conditions does people come to get treatment for?
Oh, that's actually for Chinese medicine. That's actually quite lots of different kind of conditions. They came to the Chinese medicine practitioner or treatment. But most, I would say, that's the chronic conditions. So if you look at the people come to Chinese medicine clinic, of course, some of them they prefer the natural treatment. Yeah, they prefer the complementary. They say they're using natural stuff, so they believe that that's got less side effect. But actually, that's just a part of the patients that came to Chinese medicine. If you look at the whole lot, quite a lot, actually, they already got a lot of treatment with the conventional medicine, like with their GP. Actually, the outcomes not very good. So that's make those people, they're trying to find other ways to try to see if they can sort their problem out or not. So that's quite a lot of patients that came to complementary medicine, include the Chinese medicine. Got lots of patients actually is not kind of a patient. So they got chronic conditions like hypertension, diabetes, or the long-term like arthritis, or including the depression, or the fertility. That's kind of the problems.
And what kind of treatment is the most popular one in the traditional Chinese medicine?
Or how to say, that's in China actually herbal medicine, or traditionally that herbal medicine, that's the main treatment in Chinese medicine. But in this country, actually that's slightly different from the traditional practice. Here, definitely the needles is much more popular than the herbs, particularly in the modern days now. Like I said, if like in the late 80s, when I just came to this country, or the early 90s, at that time the herbs was very popular. I think that's related to the BBC report, the herbal medicine treatment on the eczema, or you probably know that already. So at that time, the herbal medicine was very popular. So the patients, they like the herbal medicine, they want the herbal medicine treatment. But even at that time, the acupuncture also very popular. But later, they had quite a lot of reports. They said herbal medicine got some side effect, so the people start becoming cautious in using herbal medicine. So now I think the acupuncture is much more popular than the herbs.
And do you get any referrals from Western practitioners for some conditions they can't treat?
So where I worked, that's in the centre of London. Before that's not very many patients actually originally referred by the Western doctors, but we do have some. That's mainly because we got some patients, they came to us, and when we treat the patients, they got a better result. And like I said, they probably already went with the doctors a long time, the Western doctor. The outcome, the treatment outcomes are not very good, so they try the Chinese medicine, they got a better result. So that caused the doctors, they were surprised why you got a better treatment result. So in that case, they started to refer some patients, but not many.
Or have you done any work for NHS?
No, not officially for the NHS. Even so, when I did my PhD here in the Imperial College, at that time I worked in the hospital. I worked in the Hammersmith Hospital, but that mainly on the research, not directly for the clinical side of the NHS. Yeah.
Okay, and so now I will move on to ask you about a little bit about your academic.
Okay.
field.
Right.
And how long have you taught traditional Chinese medicine for?
Oh, that's in this college. That's 11 years, something like that. But before I joined the Middlesex University, I was working in Imperial, and later I moved to King's College. Actually, most of the time I work in King's College. At that time, it's not directly related to Chinese medicine. I worked on therapeutic and pharmacology department in King's College in the medical school. So at that time, also most of my work is on the clinical pharmacology research on all kind of natural medicines. Those are not only Chinese herbal medicine, all the other, including the food. Yeah, that's kind of things. So especially, I will say, clearly it's related to Chinese medicine. That's actually when I joined to the Middlesex here. That's for the education. When I stayed in China, I worked on the Chinese medicine, but that's more on the research side. I worked in the Herbal Medical College. Almost all of the time I spent in China. Actually, at that time I worked on the active component of a Chinese herbal medicine, Qinghao, the artemisia. I think that's the most successful research on Chinese herbal medicine. And then based on that research, they developed the anti-malaria, they call it artemisinin. So I spent over time and did the clinical trial on that medicines in China. That's very successful medicine. They developed it from Chinese herbal medicine. I think in 2004, the WHO already officially decided using that medicine based on the Chinese herb, Qinghao. They use that to replace the traditional anti-malarials, replace the chloroquine and the quinine. So now the first line anti-malaria is artemisia. That's based on the Chinese medicine. That's very successful, that one.
Could you describe a little bit of your current job?
Currently, I work here as the program leader of the BSc Traditional Chinese Medicine and the program, the master program, what they call the master of a professional practice in Chinese herbal medicine. So that's mainly my role in this college, in this university. We got every year we got about 20, more or less, like that, undergraduate student, and we got about 10 postgraduate. So that's normally we got the students, and we're responsible to deliver the education in Chinese medicine for the undergraduate and the Chinese herbal medicine for the postgraduate. I mean the undergraduate, the Chinese medicine, doesn't cover both, that cover herbal medicine and acupuncture.
And what hours do you work here?
Oh, I've worked here full time actually. Theoretically it should be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
And what are your day-to-day tasks?
Apart from teaching, there's lectures. Of course, you need to prepare your lectures, but we spent some time on research as well. I spent something 20 to 30% of my time on the mainly now is in the lab. We're doing some mainly my research areas that include two areas. One is quality control of herbal medicine. That means the qualities of the herb, how much active component included in natural herbs they use as a medicine. And another areas is my major areas. That's on the clinical pharmacology area. That's drug interactions, because when the people using herbal medicine, actually they at the same time they probably very likely actually they're using conventional medicine as well, particularly for the chronic conditions. So what my research area is trying to find out when they're using the herbal medicine and the conventional medicine together, if there are any interactions between the medicine and the herbs, That's maybe positive interactions like a synergism. That's useful, so they can help the mutually, so they treat the conditions. But they, very likely they will got adverse drug reactions. They cause side effect. That's all the area in my research area. Yeah.
And talk about the courses you taught. So when and how were these courses funded?
That's in this university, the Chinese medicine program. I think at the moment we got several Chinese medicine program. We got 2 undergraduate program. One is acupuncture only, and another one that's what I'm the program leader. That's the 4 years program that cover both acupuncture and the herbal medicine. Apart from the 2 undergraduate, we got 3 postgraduate program. One is postgraduate masters in herbal medicine. I mentioned that, and another one is a master program in acupuncture, and another one is master program in research. Also, yeah. The first one, the earliest one, that's the 4 years program. That's why I'm the program leader of that program. That's established in 1996. I think that's the earliest one. And later we set up the other programs. That's after 2000, year 2000. I think that's the first degree program established in the formal university in the UK. And also because that program cooperated with Beijing University of Chinese Medicine. So our students, until today, our students, they got the opportunity to gain the Beijing, the Chinese Bachelor degree in Chinese medicine as well, if they complete the 4 years program, plus the clinical placement in China. So that's also, I think, the first official degree. They can gain the Chinese TCM degree outside of China. I think that's also the first. I think until now, that's the only one. Yeah, program. Yeah.
And what kind of qualifications are required to take these courses?
That's for a school leaver. I mean, from the secondary school, we normally require 240. What they call it? That's what's the point? The UCAS point, what they call it. Basically, we need 3 A levels result, but you must include 1 in biology. Ideally, 1 in chemistry. It must be grade C or above. That's for the school leavers. But we do have some mature students. That's not school leavers. That means they already worked or studied for the A levels, or even they studied for their first degree already. So we got some mature students. For those students, apart from we also look at their A levels or GCSE result, but we will pay quite a lot of attention on their working experience. That means have they done anything that's related to the complementary medicine or particularly Chinese medicine. If they got some experience in those areas, that's also very useful. We will take that into account when we recruit our student. Yeah.
And what reason do you think for them to choose this course?
For the secondary school students, normally we got about 30% of our recruitment every year. For those students, I think the main reasons that they know Chinese medicine, what it is Chinese medicine. Whatever they learn that from, they're learning their studies, or they read the books, or some they learn that from their parents or their friends. So anyway, they already know what it is Chinese medicine. so they feel interested in this kind of natural medicines. So they made them make decision to come to study Chinese medicine. But for the mature student, I think the reasons are relatively complicated. The mature student, I think some of them, they say they're really interested in this area. And of course, if they're not really interested, then they won't come here. But I think there's some other reasons, like they studied for their first degree, but afterwards they probably find they're not really interested in that area, or maybe difficulty to find an appropriate job, whatever. So that makes them to make decisions they want to change their career. So that's they make them change that to the complementary medicine area, to the Chinese medicine area. I think that's the difference. People got the different reasons. I think we've also got some people like that. That's actually they want to change their career and choose the Chinese medicine.
And do you have any students with a background in Western medicine?
Yes, we do have. We have some students actually. They learned some in Western medicine or in the Western biomedical sciences, like in pharmacy or whatever, and then later they transferred, or they studied that, and then they came to here. We do have some students, and also we have some students, they started Chinese medicine here, and when they finished the 4 years of studies, and then they moved on to the medical school, so they learn the Western medicine continually. Because the students, when they finish our program here, they will be, if they pass, of course, the interviews in the medical school, actually they can directly go to what they call the medical graduate medical student. That means they don't need to learn the medical program from the very beginning. They will directly go to the clinical stage, but they just take 1 year to review what the medical basis. So we got quite a few students, our graduates, when they studied here, and then they moved on to the medical school. I think some of them already graduated from the medical school, so they will practice both conventional medicine and Chinese medicine.
And what are the views among Western teachers and students regarding Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine?
Oh yeah, we do have, because the program here, what we're teaching, is quite similar to the delivery Chinese medicine in China. Basically, the program actually you can say that's the whole program includes 3 parts. Like I said, the 4 years program. It's one part acupuncture, one part herbal medicine. That's mainly we cover the 2 major Chinese medicine area. But another part for the program, that's the Western medicine. All our students, they learn the basic conventional medicine. I mean, like the basic physiology, pathology, and the diagnosis, and also our students will learn some basic pharmacology as well. I mean the conventional pharmacology, not the herbs. So the students will learn the different areas. So we got quite a few. I mean the Western lectures, they work in the biomedical science. They were teaching our students on the basic Western medicine modules. Yeah, we do have lots, not only the Chinese medicine practitioners teaching the program.
And will you have some debates sometimes between like Chinese lecturer and
on the Chinese medicine, you mean?
Yeah.
In this college, this actually, because we worked together in the same area, in the same department, so mutually they understand, or they know more about what it is Chinese medicine. Even so, they learn the Western medicine and teaching the Western medicine, but they know what what the Chinese medicine theories means, or simply I'll say they learn the more details, the meaning of the Chinese medicine, so they can understand the Chinese medicine. Really, we're using something to treat the patients. Whatever you're using needles or using herbs, of course we got a different theories to explain the treatment, but actually you do treat the patients. So that's you can they even say they learn the Western scientific medicine, but they can understand we did treat the patients. But if you look at the overall the countries, I think in the UK they do have a lot of debate between the Western medicine doctor and the Chinese medicine. They think the Chinese medicine is not scientific or that kind of thing. But if you learn this in the details, you can understand the meaning, and they can understand this. We're using different theoretical frame to explain the things, but that's did works. So if they can understand that, I believe they can say, oh, the Chinese medicine definitely work in certain ways. Just we need to do more research to find out what the scientific basis for the Chinese medicine. So in our college, seems even on the Western side, they're quite understandable about the Chinese medicine. So it seems that we don't have a lot the debate. Of course, we got discussed on the mechanism. So that was with our students doing some research project also on that area. But if you look at the overall in the country, there's lots of debate on that.
And for those TCM courses, is there any standard of regulating the content of the course?
Yes. Even say now in the UK, there's still not a statutory regulation for the profession. But at the moment, in the UK, we do have what we call the self-regulated professional bodies. There are several, the leading professional bodies like the EHTPA, that's for herbal medicine, and also the British Acupuncture for acupuncture, and also we got the probably the more Chinese members, the organization they call the ATCM, Association of Traditional Chinese Medicine. You probably know that, yeah. So these professional bodies set up standards, and also they set up what they call the accreditation board. They will do the accreditation on the education courses in Chinese medicine. So like our course accredited by the EHTPA for the herbal medicine side, and also accredited by the British they call the British Acupuncture Accredited Board, BAAB. That's basically British Acupuncture Council. So the acupuncture side is accredited by the BAAB, and also our course recognized by the ATCM. That's another Chinese medicine leading professional body. So this professional body will set up the standard and set up the curriculum. So the courses in the UK, whatever the university courses or the private college or private school, they develop this kind of courses. They need to get the accreditations from these professional bodies. So that's a kind of a regulation or standard or quality control process for the courses. Of course, there are no statutory regulation in this country. So if you run a school like that without the accreditation, I think the people still can do that, but just probably not widely recognized.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you some questions about the ATCF.
Yeah, okay.
You just mentioned it.
Yeah.
And how long have you been involved in this with the association?
I joined the association, that's actually in 2000, the year 2000 or something like that. And then I started to work in the council as in 2004, I think, if I'm not wrong. I think it's 2004, and all the time I worked in the council of ATCM.
And how did you get involved into the association?
Okay, this organization actually, we only got one long-term employees that work for the council as a secretary. All the council members, that's actually, or how to say, they just like a board, like a committee, and they discuss all of the issues related to the development of the association. But they're not specially employed by the association. They just really voluntarily work as a council, as a board. Of course, all these council members are elected by the ATCM members. Yeah. So basically, we got the council set up for the association, and the council got a regular meeting every 2 months. Also, will discuss all of the issues related to the professional body, including like the membership issues, set up the entry requirement, and also we got our own accreditation board. So we'll set up the curriculum for the education, to set up the standard for the education programs. And also we got what we call the professional conduct committee. That means monitor our members' conduct in Chinese medicine practice. That means all our members, they have to obey to the code of the professional body. So they have to meet the minimum standard required to provide the TCM service, like a hygiene standard, or how to say the relationship with the patients, all the kind of, we got a whole lot of code of conduct on a code of a professional practice. So we got a committee to look after this, and also we got another committee to look after the research area. We set up not much, but we got a research fund for our members. So we got a committee to look after the funding applications, to allocate the fund to appropriate research area. So that's all the councils doing a lot of this kind of the general, the issues, the general work for the association.
Can I ask where the research funds come from?
Research fund? Oh.
Yeah, where it come from?
Oh, that's the financially, you mean? ATCM is that's a non-profit company. Say that's all the financial sources come from our membership fees. So every member, they will pay the membership fee every year. Actually, our association is the cheapest one in this country, I think. Yeah, but we still, we set up allocate a small fund. That's basically from the members' fees. Yeah.
And what kind of qualifications are needed to become a member of this association?
As we required at least there was a BSc degree levels. If in the case that we do have some members, but very small numbers, that means they learn, the Chinese medicine from the older generation, or they learned from not really degree schools, but they probably learned a diploma. That's not the first or BSc degree. In that case, the applicant, they have to pass through our entry interview. For that, we got exam paper they have to pass, and also they have to pass the interviews with the interviewer. They will present some questions, either theoretical questions or practical questions. So they have to satisfy the interviewer before they can become a member of the ATCM. That's only very small numbers. Most of our members, they got a bachelor degree in Chinese medicine or above. We got masters, and some of them got PhDs as well. Yeah.
And I know now you are the president of the association.
Yeah.
Could you describe a little more about your role in the association?
Okay. As the president of the ATCM, I think the main roles that will lead the council to, because really all the decisions not made by the president or made by the council. Yeah, but the president, you need to organize or lead the council's working properly. So you need to, to lead the council to develop the strategic development for the professions. So you probably need to after the council make the decision, normally the president, you need to execute the decisions, like which way we're going to develop it, like the statutory regulation. That's all the time. That's our first important issue for our profession. So all the time, actually, we did a lot of work to try to push the government or together all our members or the public's awareness or the requirements was to pass on those information to the government, to push the government or promote the statutory regulation issues. Even say that's a very difficult issue at the moment, but we did achieve something. Like the government in 2011, they announced the herbal medicine statutory regulation, but it's very slow until now, so no progress. But we need to continue to work in that direction. Work together with the other professional bodies together. So that's one of the biggest or important issue for the president. Of course, the president also needed to make sure the council's running. We got several subcommittees. The president will be coordinate the different committees and work together. If each subcommittee they got one members of the council, they're responsible for that particular committee. But the president, you need to work to lead the whole council work together. And for the important issues, the president will have to go to lead that, like the statutory regulation. And we also, another development is we needed to get more widely recognized by the not say the public, or recognized by like the insurance company. We got some insurance company recognize the professional body ATCM, but some insurance company not. So we needed to get more widely publicity for our association, to get more wide recognition, because that will benefit our members' business. Yeah, so that's what the important issues the president have to lead. But for the general issues, they got the councils, they got all the members, but the president how to make sure the council worked in coordination ways. That's basically the role.
And what is the association's relationship like with the mainstream medical services?
All right, okay, that's difficult. That's actually one of our work area, but it's not really easy or not really big development in that area. We're trying to promote the Chinese medicine to be incorporated into the national health services, but that's very difficult. There's a lot of hurdles on that. I think one is issue that financially the NHS not really want to spend money on the complementary medicine area. And another issue is the big issues I think is in the mainstream medical systems or the staff in this one, it's really hard to, or not very popular for them to recognize the Chinese medicine. I think that acupuncture is much better, the situations. We do have some members, they develop their business or develop the service into the NHS hospitals. So they work in the hospitals, but not very popular. That's actually the ATCM, there's one area we're trying to promote the development in that direction. Actually, I got a meeting in Friday, the coming Friday. I've got a meeting with the Scotland government in Edinburgh. That's one of the issues we're going to discuss. How to, I don't know, you know the NHS devolution. That's 10 years ago. So they devolved the NHS, so the local government got much more power to organize the NHS. So actually that's what we want to talk to the Scotland government, try to promote the Chinese medicine. I think the acupuncture probably the more likely, but including herbal medicine. We hope that they can ask the local government to consider to incorporate this in certain ways into the NHS services. Yeah.
And what is the relationship between BAC and ATCM?
That's just the two, the similar professional bodies. BXC is bigger. I think they got more members. They got about 3,000 members. We got 800, something like that, less than 1,000. The main difference is we cover both. ATCM, our members, they practice both herbal medicine and acupuncture. We only got a very small members, they only practice acupuncture. And BXC is just in the other side. They got most of their members just practice acupuncture. They don't know herbs, so they don't practice herbal medicine. But if say the status is the same, they're just a self-regulated professional body. BXC actually they got because they got more members, it's more powerful. I think they got the publicity is much better than the ATCM. They got more, or say the government or the public recognize them, so they pass what they call the professional standard authority accreditation. That's just accredited that professional body, say they got good quality. The ATCM actually we also considering to apply for that accreditation, but you probably know that at the moment we got the herbal medicine statutory regulation still going on. ATCM, because we cover herbal medicine, that's very important part. So if the herbal medicine go into the statutory regulation, there's no point which go to that kind of self-regulation accreditations. So we're still waiting for that, for the herbal medicine statutory regulation development. Yeah. So basically the same professional body, just cover slightly different.
And do you know any other TCM association existing in this country?
Yes, I think another relatively big one is a herbal medicine professional body. They called Registered Chinese Herbal Medicine, RCHM, I think. They got, I think, more than 300 members, something. They got some Chinese members, not many, but mainly I think the English members there. ATCM, we cover both acupuncture and the herbal medicine. They only cover herbal medicine. The British Acupuncture Council only cover acupuncture. They only cover herb. We cover both. We got a little bit more members than the RCHM. We got more Chinese members. We got 70%, or maybe a little bit more than that, members as Chinese. We got about less than 30% English people. But the RCHM, I think they probably most as English people, only very small numbers of Chinese. That's only the difference. Yeah. There are some other small ones that's in the Chinese community, I think. What they call Federation of Chinese Medicine. I think that's mainly from the shops, the Chinese medicine shops, the chain shops members. I think they're relatively small. They probably only got hundreds or less than 100 members. There's one or two, I think. I can't remember the. One is they call the FTCNP. That's mainly from the chain clinical, the Chinese medicine shops. Another one I can't remember the name. They got a very small number. The other one only got 30 or something, I think.
Okay, now I'd like to ask some questions about general questions about TCM.
Yeah.
Are there any government-recognized professional bodies to regulate TCM and the quality of your practice?
Government to regulate this, you mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is at the moment, Chinese medicine profession, what we call the self-regulated. That means BXC, ATCM, RCHM, the practitioner make an organization, and then they're just self-regulated. There are no national statutory regulation in this area. Only in the 2011, in the February, I think at that time, the government, the central government, UK central government say they're going to implement statutory regulation on herbal medicine side, including Chinese herbal medicine. And that's also include Western herbal medicine, but no acupuncture. So that's basically at the moment they just made that announcement to going to do that, but actually until now they haven't got any the real actions to regulate the profession. So they're still going on. The government is still communicate with us and also with the EHTPA, the other herbal medicine professional body, trying to sort out some problems. Hopefully that will go through, but we don't know at the moment. For the acupuncture, there are no statutory regulation. I think the government already made the announcement or made the decision, at least for the that can be seen in the future. There are no statutory regulation on that area, acupuncture, but only the herbal medicine. Hopefully we can get through to get the national statutory regulation. Yeah.
And you have been working in this area for over decades. What are some challenges facing TCM practice and education nowadays?
Right. I think that for practical side, for the clinical practice side, I think now is one thing is we need to promote the publicity. Still, we need to do that. Even say the acupuncture already become very popular. I think the Western people or in the Western country, I think everybody know acupuncture, and quite a lot of people using acupuncture. But still, we need to, as a Chinese medicine as a whole, we will also contain the herbal medicine part. Actually, the herbal medicine is more powerful than the needles. So we need, but the people's really not really, or they know the details about the Chinese. So we need to make more publicity or promote. That's one area. Why? Because the people still not really clear about the Chinese herbal medicine, and also because some, whatever the reason, it may be due to the poor quality practitioners, or because there are no regulation. Some people not really qualified, they still practice there, so they cause lots of side effect, and then they report on the media about the side. So that makes the public very nervous about the herbs. Actually, for the qualified practitioner, if they're using the herb properly, actually they're not really, they got a much less side effect. You can't say no side effect, but they got much less side effect than the conventional medicine. So that's one area really, if you want to make the Chinese medicine more popular, that's one area we do need to do. Of course, another challenge is related to the regulations. We need to make sure the practitioner is really qualified, well qualified. So in that case, they can practice or provide the high standard services. So that's also is a challenge at the moment, because there's no statutory regulation. It's really difficult to control that. There's a lot. I'm not sure if it's a lot or not, but anyway, you can see some of the not really well qualified people, they practice the Chinese medicine. Actually, they make a very bad image to the Chinese medicine. So that's another challenge. I mean, for the educational side, that's one thing we need to get the people learn what it is, Chinese medicine. And another thing is we need to promote the research for the academic side, because really, same as the conventional medicine, if you want to teach that as a discipline, you need to not only just teach the students 1,000 years ago's word, what they said. You need to develop the area. You need to base some new evidence, particularly you need to combine with the conventional medicine. That's also a way to communicate with the mainstream medical area. So in that case, you let them to learn the Chinese medicine more, to understand more, and then they can understand. If they don't know the details, you just tell them what is yin and yang, and they probably just think that's rubbish. It's just mean nothing. It's just yin and yang. That's what that means. You can't relate that to physiology, pathology, or thing. But if you let them learn the details, and they can understand what the Chinese medicine doing, what the Chinese medicine means, in that case, you really can communicate with them. So that's another challenge. We need funding, but no funding for the research at the moment. Okay.
Have you noticed some changes in TCM that have taken place in the UK over these years?
Okay, something, if you talk about the changes, something good, something not good, actually. The one thing I say, the good things is because I think since the end of the last 80s, the Chinese medicine become popular. That's already more than decades, nearly 2 decades. So that's Chinese medicine developed in this kind of become more and more popular. The people, I think everybody knows Chinese medicine, particularly the high street shops. So that's the one thing, it's a good thing that make the Chinese medicine very popular now. Everybody know that. So that's really the big change. If say like when I came to this country, it's very rarely you can see the TCM clinics at that time. Only in Soho, in Chinatown, they got to say a couple of. But now everywhere you got the clinics. And also we've got lots of people from the Western countries. The English people are interested and they're coming here to study that, to learn that. That's really it's changing if you compare to the decades ago. But the bad things are sometimes that's due to there's no statutory regulation, no very good regulation to control the area. Actually, particularly in the period when the Chinese medicine becoming popular, so everybody they take that as a business to develop the business and they try to make money. Actually, that some people really not really qualified. They really just want to run the business and make money. So actually not really they pay attention on the service qualities or the standards. So that make they damage the reputation of the Chinese medicine. That's really, I would say that's the bad area. They need it. So that's why we really strongly require the statutory regulation. To control not only control the medicine quality, you also need to control the practitioner's quality as well.
How do you think the implementation of the traditional herbal registration program instructions in the EU will that affect the development of TCM in this country?
That's big impact actually at the moment. The EU directive, I think they formally or fully in place since 2011. Because the EU directive, the no patent Chinese medicine will be allowed on the market. At the moment on the market, you still see the people provide the patent medicine because that's the government allow the people to continue to provide those as long as you got that before the implementation of the EU directive date. That's on the 4th of May 2011. That means those practitioner or the retailer, if they got the patent medicine before that date, they can continue to sell it until they sold them out or until the shelf life expired. So that's why you still can see the clinic on the high street, they still provide the patent medicine. But since the 1st of May 2011, there are no further supply of patent medicine will be allowed. So that means if the practitioners, if they sold their patent medicine out, and they won't get any more. So, or if say in the future, there are no patent medicine will be allowed to use for the practitioner to use. So that's a big impact to the Chinese medicine practitioner because they're heavily really on the patent medicine. That's one issue. That's why we promote the statutory regulation for the practitioner. That's also the purpose. If the practitioner be statutory regulated, and the practitioner will be recognized as what they call the authorized practitioner. The EU directive stated, say, if you are authorized by the member states as a professional practitioner, and you will be able to use the unlicensed patent medicine. But the things, you have to be recognized as an authorized practitioner. How you can become authorized, that's you have to be statutorily regulated. So that's why we promote the statutory regulation. But unfortunately in the UK, that's too slow, the progress. So until now, still no statutory regulation. So all the practitioners won't be recognized as an authorized practitioner. So they can't use the patent medicine anymore. That's the big impact.
Okay. Now I will ask you some questions about your personal experience.
Okay.
And could you describe a typical day of your work?
Typical day. What a typical day? Was that every day is very busy. But typically we got a teaching. So we got a day. and then we've got like the meetings for the recruitment, and then we need to prepare the research things like literature review, or we spend the time in the lab. That's basically, or typically, that's what I'm doing during the work. If the day I don't have a teaching, I don't have a lectures, and then I probably or spend the time in the lab, or spend the time in the clinic, or just on the tables for the literature review, that kind of things. Yeah. But sometimes I work on the meeting. It's just that's a kind of administration work. That's quite significant in the universities, but not very interesting. That things.
And could you tell me what is the best and worst thing about your job?
The best things, I enjoy the teaching, and also I enjoy the research work, whatever the clinical research based on the patients, on the health conditions, or the lab research. I really very enjoy that. I don't like the things. It's just got too many meetings. There's a lot of meetings. This meeting, that meeting. It's too complicated administration things. That seems that in the university we've got a lot of things to do. Probably in the UK, it's, everywhere there's a lot of paperwork. I'm not really like that. I like the practical work.
And have there been any turning points in your career in TCM, or any significant people that have influenced you before?
Sorry, what's the point?
Is there any turning points in your career life?
Turning me to the Chinese medicine, you mean? No, not really. I think that was a long time. I spent that's in 1974, I think 73. That's really by chance, because the government said, so you finish the secondary school, they asked me to go to this college to learn this, and it was just start that. It's not really anything tend me to the profession. I can't imagine any significant turning point. Yeah, but anyway, for the whole life actually, as I'm doing the similar things on Chinese herbal medicine. Yeah.
Of course, we know you're very busy with your work, but what do you do for recreation?
For the TCM area, I'm not quite understand recreation. What do you mean?
In your spare time, what did you do for entertainment?
All right, okay. Other things, I've not really got too many hobbies. I like the Chinese, the 电视剧, how to translate that, episode of a Chinese television, something. I enjoy that. Not really is other things. Not really. I got any sports or hobbies. I'm very poor in sports and that things. No, probably the tennis table balls. That's probably I like it. And only one. So.
Perfect. So that's all the question I want to ask. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or add?
No, really. Well, just say this project. So what are for? This is just same as the last project you did for this one. Yeah? Last one you did on the Chinese food. I can't remember what you did in ming-ai.
It might be a little bit different. This one is for Chinese work. workforce heritage project.
Right. Well, that's still supported by the lottery, isn't it? Okay. All right.
It is.
Okay. Well, we worked with this ming-ai quite a lot before. It was before ming-ai provide the language teaching for us. Yeah. Okay. That's yeah.
Thank you so much for participating in our project and sharing your memories.
Okay. Thank
you.
you. Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.